All right, take 3 on this interview with Lindsey Holder. If you've joined for the first 2, we are going to give it one more try for our Galentine's Day chat today with author Lindsey Holder. We're celebrating Galentine's Day, which is ladies celebrating ladies, specifically here, Christian women celebrating Christian women today. And we're hopefully going to be connecting with our author, Lindsey Holder. She is a godly author, entrepreneur, and newly married woman. And I've got Lindsey here, so I'm going to see. Ooh, this might actually work. All right, we're going to give it a couple seconds. Like I said, appreciate your patience. We are really hoping that it works this time. If you have any questions for Lindsey throughout the interview that you would like to ask, please share them. We would love to get your involvement. And we'd also love at the end to give out a copy of Waiting While Dating as well. All right. For our Galentine's Day chat, you can grab your cup of joe or your cup of tea, your beverage of choice, snack, lunch, whatever have you. And we are hopefully going to be connecting soon. All right, still waiting to connect with author Lindsey Holder of Waiting While Dating. We're celebrating Galentine's Day. If you're just now joining with us, hopefully we will have our author connected. And it doesn't look like it's going to be working. So the joys of going live, just not working out. All right. We are going to invite our author, Lindsey Holder. Oh, Lindsey! Yay!
Oh,
we have a connection.
Oh, we did it. We did it.
All right.
Yay. Let me tell you who did it. Come here, Chandler. This is who did it right here.
Chandler, you are awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This is Galentine's Day.
How old is she?
Chandler
I'm 22.
Chandler's 22.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why. We're, yep, okay. Apparently
Chandler I have a great team, and Chandler does a lot of our social media at the spa. We're in my spa, by the way, right now. And so I'm like, help! I don't know what to do.
Well, Chandler, thank you.
Yeah,
Chandler, you can join in on our Galentine's Day chat. I'm excited that we finally connected. So if you're just now tuning in with us, we finally were able to connect, thanks to Chandler, to our author, Lindsey Holder. She's a godly author, entrepreneur, and newly married wife. Happy Galentine's Day to you, Lindsey.
Happy Galentine's Day. I have my, it's supposed to be a coffee chat, but I have my warm apple cider. I got my chocolates. We have the flowers. We're ready. I'm ready.
No, and it's a beverage of your choice. So if you want your warm apple cider, that is awesome.
Yes.
So I'm excited. We are really specifically celebrating women and Christian women celebrating Christian women. I was sneaking around your website and I saw that you love the Day of Love.
I do.
I think we're kindred spirits. So is this your first Galentine's Day chat or celebration?
Yeah, definitely first Galentine's Day chat. I really see Valentine's Day. Yes, it's really, I mean, I am excited that this is my first married Valentine's Day. That is very special. But before Jeff, my husband, I had, every Valentine was a Galentine, and I would celebrate it with like my team here. We're all working women, so they usually get a little treat from me, and my niece, my mom, my sister, and then my friends. We usually do like a little group chat or group text and stuff, and just let each other know that we're thinking of each other and just have a good day.
So you've been really technically celebrating Galentine's Day for many years.
Many years. And you know what? I got that from my parents. I've always felt very loved by them. And every Valentine's Day, my dad would always have something for me and my mom. And they would take me out to dinner and stuff and just show their love. And so it just instilled with me, and it just kept, with me through the years.
I love it. Well, for Galentine's Day, your book is an awesome resource for the single women, the dating women, women who are parents to young teens. Can you tell us, first of all, what made you write your book, Waiting While Dating?
Sure. I wrote it because I had a relationship that abruptly ended, and I knew that the next relationship I really wanted to in any relationship going forward, I wanted it to be in a godly way, put God first, and have a very Christian-centered relationship. And I had read a lot of other Christian books, but I wanted some more details, like really specific details on dating, and I couldn't find what I was looking for. So I remember I went to you guys and publisher, and I pitched it, and it just turned out great. So the premise is I knew 6 Christian couples that on how they dated, and I really wanted to know what their answers were. From when did you first start going to church together? When did you introduce each other to your parents? When did you hold hands? When did you first kiss? Like, I wanted to really know that inside stuff. And then, hey, Maddie, here's my assistant, Maddie.
Hello.
Maddie was helping me earlier. So. Happy Galentine's Day.
Happy Galentine's Day, Maddie.
Yeah. So that's where the book came from. And one couple was in my small group. So I got to see them every week and see their relationship and how that was. And I just knew I've got to interview them. I really want to know their story. And it's just like that. And when I had a Christian counselor, and she was one of my stories in there. And my parents, my mom, when I told her about the book, she was like, hello, your dad and I can be in the book. What about us? And I said, absolutely. So it's about 6 Christian couples that put God first, and all the questions as they were dating from courtship to marriage.
And you have a pretty wide range in your book of how long they've been married. What were the ranges from the shortest to the longest?
Well, and they also had different backgrounds too. So some had not been married, either had never been married, and they had just been married like a year. Another couple, they had both been married and they came together. They had children before, and they'd been married, I'd have to look at the book, but I think like 12 to 15 years already. There's another couple who one had been married before and had children, one had not, and they'd been married a couple years. So it just really all depends. I wanted a wide variety. One was also in a couple years of marriage, and neither one had been married too. And then you, of course, have the wisdom of my parents who've been married forever. And I got to it was really cool actually, because I didn't know all the things about them. And so this gave me that inside look into their dating life. And they just like giggled and went back memory lane. And I'm like, we got to get through this. This one question has taken 5 hours.
Was there anything specific that really stuck out to you while you were interviewing your parents that you really learned about?
I'm trying to think. I remember I thought that my mom and dad, when I asked them, like, what attracted you to this person, I was going to get this, I don't know, a different answer. My mom was just, my dad said, well, I just thought she was real pretty and she was available. And I was like, that is not what I thought that my dad was going to say.
I like the honesty.
Yeah.
I like it.
So I thought, okay, you know what? But that's what I wanted. I wanted that honesty. And men are attracted, and that is important to have that attractiveness at the beginning too. And so I was like, well, that's being honest.
I definitely like that.
Yeah.
When writing the book, where were you in your dating single life process? Were you single? Were you dating?
I just finished the book, and I was editing the book when I met Jeff, and I met him online actually.
Okay.
So it was good that I had already written the book, and he only read the book till after we were married. We wanted our own experience, and I didn't want him to read that, and he really didn't want it either. We wanted just to do it, how through our own experience. But I did ask him questions during our courtship. I wrote the book. I knew what kind of questions were in there. So I've got my book right here, actually. So I would, just kind of flag some questions, and we would go on a date, and I would ask him one question on this date, another question here. Obviously, he passed the test. So
yeah, I would hope so.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it was fascinating to know his answers and things like that. So, yeah.
Now, you mentioned, this is actually something that I was going to ask you. The last time I dated was a good 10 years ago, before internet dating and the apps really became the norm.
Yeah.
were you online dating per se, or did you just happen to meet him on Facebook? How did that happen?
We met on Match.com, and I dated before him both. So my clients would actually set me up with the dates, and my sister set me up on dates, and just people I know. But I also did online too. So it was a combination. And most of the guys that I even met in person, like if they were set up through clients or friends, they were also online too. So I was like, well, it's the same same match here.
Yeah.
So I really think that with this day and age with technology, it's really just the way it's going, which I'm fine with. And as long as your boundaries are clear and your communication is very clear from the get-go, I think it's great. Yeah.
What was the biggest, if you had any, what was the biggest challenge when you were doing the online dating that you could even foresee being the average challenge for a Christian woman?
Yes, I think don't be fearful. So I really went into this relationship not being scared that if it didn't work out, to be able to let it go. So in the past, I would be kind of hesitant to, oh my gosh, what if I asked this person to stop seeing another one, like if they were seeing two people, and I wasn't communicating what I wanted to. And I really think that clarity is really important. And every step of the way, I just was like, if it doesn't work out, I basically gave it to God, and I trusted him more than I trusted myself. And that faith really got me through it. And also surrounding myself with an amazing group of other Christian women. And I had a mentor in a small group that made a huge difference. I stayed busy. I didn't want that person just to be the focus of my life. So I had my business, I had my friends, I had my community group. I was really involved. So I mean, it was work. It was work. And I think finding a mate is a lot of work, but you know what? He was definitely worth all of that work. He was worth the wait. And I remember asking God, I said, you know what? I just want you to give me what you think your best is for me. And he sure did. So
I actually really like what you said about the communication, because although I did not date in the internet day and age, communicating exactly as a Christian woman what you're looking for, that's key right there. So I think that's huge for our listeners.
Yes, and just to be very specific, when we met in a coffee shop, and he didn't even have my last name. I didn't really give a lot of details. He just knew, show up here. It was Lindsey. And he was funny at the end of the day. He was like, so can I have your last name and your number maybe? And I said, yes. I said, but let me tell you, I'm a very one-on-one type person. So if you want to see me again, this is just for me. Everybody's totally different, but I just want to work. But let's see where this goes with us first. I'm not going to communicate with anybody else during this time. And it was a surprise for him to hear that. But he said, okay. And so from the get-go, even from that first date, I just kind of set what I was looking for, and I did it like that the whole time.
That's awesome. I feel like it's very relevant and I'm almost glad that you went through that experience, that you can share that with your readers and our listeners today.
Yeah.
Since that is very much the norm now. And as far as, when you're going through this process, were you often thinking back to your book, Waiting While Dating, as you're going through the process and through those interviews?
Oh, yeah. I read my book a lot. I was like, I'm glad I wrote this, and I'm glad I interviewed these couples. And it was really, I had an advantage point to where one of the couples that I interviewed, I got to see every week in my small group. And I got to, tell them, they would ask, how's it going, where you're at? And they got to meet him and things like that. So that made a big difference too. So again, communication is really important. And then surrounding yourself with your community is equally important, because you really want to get other people's perception of that relationship. And I forgot who told me this, or maybe it was a sermon that I heard or a book, but they said, make sure your foundation is strong. So before you even get out there, make sure that if you do fall, if it is going to break up, you're okay. You've already got your support system already in place. That really stuck out with me. And so I made sure that was there, that if something didn't work out, I was okay. I'm still going to go to my small group meeting. I'm still going to volunteer at church. I've got all these other things that I'm active in, and I'll just keep on pushing through until it's time.
Honestly, that's It sounds like you already had a big support system before even going
Yes.
into that, and if you even built on that further.
Yes. It was work,
So
though. I created that. Like, I think a lot of people think, oh, that's great, but it was a lot of work. Like, I made myself be actively involved, and there's some nights that you're really tired because I own a spa, and it's just a lot of work. One of my clients is about to walk in the door right now. So, Maddie, hi, how are you? So, Maddie's good. We're doing a Facebook Live video, so Maddie's gonna come around and talk
Happy
for a second.
Galentine's Day. Client's name?
Huh?
What's your client's name?
We have several right now, so I'm not. Anne. Hi, Anne.
Well, we won't keep you too much longer, Lindsey. As far as any advice right now to any of the listeners before we wrap this up, what's really a main tidbit that you can leave for them?
I really think it was the surrounding yourself. One thing that I really enjoyed when you start to get further into the relationship, I was paired through my church with a mentor, and we met every month. And we would go over anything that I was struggling with. One thing that I struggled with is patience. Oh gosh, I still struggle with that. Like Jeff and I are looking for a house right now. I'm like, okay, patience. So I think you're gonna have to struggle with. Well, I do patience with various things in life, but for me, patience was huge. And she just spoke to me every month. Took that time. We had a coffee date. It lasted about an hour or two, and it really made a huge difference. So I highly recommend that when it's time. So we were about to get engaged, and then I started to meet with her about a couple of months before engagement, and through the engagement, met with her every month. So
were there any boundaries? Were you guys pretty much in agreement on all the boundaries as far as keeping Christ center in your relationship, and then any boundaries that you had to add? As far as you and Jeff go, were you pretty much in agreement?
Yes, we were in agreement, and this may be to the extreme, but I really wanted to do it the right way. I actually wrote all my boundaries down, and I signed it, and I gave it to my sister, and she signed it. So it held me accountable. So I know that sounds kind of probably, well, it does sound extreme, but it worked for me. And she said, okay, you signed this. I have this for you. So, and it just reminded me, I was like, oh, she's actually got it on paper. It wasn't just a verbal thing. And we set our boundaries pretty clearly. It didn't hurt that he found out that I was writing a dating book either. So he was very like,
That's big.
Yeah, yeah. He was like, so he was very well mannered.
Well, I mentioned earlier that your Waiting While Dating ebook is 99 cents all week long.
Yay!
So I'm really excited for people to go and check that out. Where else can we find the hard copy?
Sure. So if you're in the Greenville area, it's at M. Judson Books, which is downtown. So I know I have a large Greenville fan base. So just walk downtown. I actually checked on the stock the other night, on my Insta stories under Savvy Assistant. So you'll find it there. And I think Ambassador has it at their place as well. Perfect. And you can get it off Amazon as well.
Excellent. So easy way, you can just hop online. Again, her ebook for Waiting While Dating is 99 cents all week long. I really encourage you to purchase this book. It's not only a great read for anyone who's single, dating, in a relationship, but for resources for your young adult group at church,
Absolutely.
at school, any other resource that you can think of, Lindsey, that this would be great for. I mean, I can think of a whole slew of parents who have young teenagers entering the dating world with today's technology.
Yes. And I would love it if like some small groups at church, that would be great. I think, and like a Bible study, that would be good. But I've given it to my girlfriends and my cousins. It's great Christmas presents, and definitely Valentine's Day. I own a spa, so you cannot imagine how many dating people, engaged people are here. So I literally have my book on my shelf, and it's available like anytime. Yeah.
That is perfect. Well, Lindsey, I really enjoyed getting to talk to you and finally see face to face one of our authors.
Yes.
It's been a really great, and if you are still tuned in, remember, Waiting While Dating is 99 cents all week long. So pick that up. You can go online and on ambassador.com, or if you're going to M. Judson Books downtown for the hard copy. Lindsey, happy Galentine's Day and enjoy your day. Happy Galentine's Day. Have a good one.
You too. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.